Hey guys, today I'm going to be doing my out-of-box review for the Master Grade RX-78-2 Gundam version 3.0. So I gotta say, building this kit, it was very interesting. One of the reasons why I never really was too interested in it is because for me it just kind of basically looked like a upscaled version of the RG kit, so I thought, yeah, kind of like, what's the point? I already built the RG and thought that kit was fine. But after building it, I can say, although it does look very much like the RG on the outside, it definitely is quite a bit different experience building this kit from the RG. With that larger 1/100 scale of this, they were definitely trying to cram a lot into this kit, and I think Bandai has done that quite well. I really don't think that this kit is like overly hindered by what they tried to do with this kit, with just making it have like a really efficient inner frame while also having tons of part separation for the outer armor. So I think they've done that quite well. As you can see, obviously one of the most striking features of this kit is going to be all the different tones you're getting with the blue. It's not that easy to notice. There is like a couple of that lighter color blue in the middle of the chest and on the sides of the chest. Depending on the angle, you can see that. The reds, it's even harder to notice. Just on the sides of the torso, there's a little bit lighter red there. It's basically unnoticeable unless you're really looking closely. But the whites, obviously, is very noticeable. You can see the different tones of whites there. There's the three different tones, I think three, yeah. There's white, kind of off-white, and then a definite kind of like light tannish color. Excuse me. So it's most obvious there in the legs and looks quite interesting indeed. It's definitely going to make it easy to paint this if you want to paint it like RG style, paint it like all different like tones, but if you, don't have to do it in white, you can do it in different tones of whatever color you want. Again, you do also have some options with this kit for like the joint caps, I guess is what you would call them, I suppose. I use the like magnetic coating ones, but you do also have just these like more traditional ones you can use, which would be like the original style, I suppose. These ones here. So you could use those if you want. You have a set of those. But I went with these. I think these were just a little bit more interesting, a little bit more fitting for what this kit was. So also, we do have this big, huge sticker sheet, which I didn't use any of except one for the eyes and then one for this marking on the shoulder. That's an optional one. The regular shoulder marking would be these ones here, white base ones, but I thought this one was cool and simple. I didn't really want to go through the trouble of putting a whole bunch of these on. You guys know how these work. Putting these stickers on any of the white areas, they're probably going to look fine. Of course, water slides are going to be the best bet, but if you do want to use these stickers, yeah, for the most part, all the ones on the white areas, I guess will probably work just well enough, I suppose. And these copper ones, I don't know, I've heard different people's opinions on them. Some people have thought that they worked fine. Some people have thought that they didn't really work all that well. So, I don't know. Anyway, again, just painting that would be the best thing to do. I suppose I did also use this red one here for the camera on the top of the head in there. But the interesting thing about the eye stickers is that it's just the black outline for the eyes. So there's no actual sticker to make like the color of the eyes. So for that, you're going to have to use a colored LED. So, and this kit doesn't come with an LED. So the other thing is that it's just like a kind of a clear sticker over the eyes. So that's going to give you like a fog to the eyes. So really they just don't look that good as they are. I think you'd be much better off just painting that, not using this eye sticker at all. But some nice color separation here on the head. We also have some different white tones, the white and the off-white there. A little yellow for the Vulcans poking through, and gray obviously there in the vents. And then red under the eyes and then for the chin part. So the articulation for the head, whoops, well there you go, while I got this off. There's where the LED would go if you have that. Let's just put this head back on here. The head can tilt back to there, very nice. Down plenty, down to there. The cockpit hatch will open as well. You get two options here. You can see I do have the seated Amuro Ray pilot figure in there. You do have the actual core fighter, which you can fold up and put in there. Or you do also just have this separate piece that is like just kind of like this similar shape that just fits in there. That way you can just still have the core fighter just out kind of on its own, and then this does, of course, transform to just the regular core fighter. Just fold that out, fold these babies out, and then you just got your normal core fighter like that with the seated Amuro Ray kind of in there in the cockpit. And then you also have these little missile launchers that fold out of there. I don't really know how I'm supposed to get those to come out. There we go. I had to use my hobby knife to get that open, but you can see that part does fold up there with a little missile for that, so that's a cool little gimmick. But anyway, nice core fighter. And then you also do have these clear parts to make just the stand for that. So if you want to have this just sat just kind of next to the kit or something, you can stand it on this landing gear here. It's just all in clear. Paint that if you want to have it in like gray. We do also, of course, have the standing Amuro figure. This is the same one that came with the RX-78 Gundam, the Master Grade 2.0 kit, because this is on the 2.0 runner. So it's kind of disappointing, like I said before, that we didn't get a new pilot figure for this kit. This is the same one before. Also notable, among the few extra parts that you have, there really is only a few, but notable that you do also get the set of the beam saber handles from the 2.0 Gundam as well. So you can just kind of use those if you want. I think they should fit into there. You could actually use these for this kit if you wanted, if you like the look of these better, or just give those to a different kit. We also have a action-based connector. We have these clear parts, which I did not put in. There's one clear part there for the back camera of the head. Didn't put that one in yet because that one is going to be like basically impossible to take out. I would have to like drill through part of the back of the head and anything. Just wasn't really worth it. Just might as well leave it out for now. And then these four parts, which in the unboxing I mentioned, I thought maybe those were for cameras. Actually, they're not. They're for inside the thruster bells. So those actually go in here in these thrusters in the backpack there and there. Those big ones and the smaller ones. So I guess that is for something. So anyway, we have those clear parts for that. And then we of course have the beam rifle. Just going to go in through the accessories here before I get back to the articulation. Might as well. There is of course the yellow piece for the camera for this as well. Didn't put that in because again, then I figure I could just like cut off that part there in the center and then just drill it out to pop out this yellow part later. And then just put another piece back there, just some other like third party or like a Kotobukiya detail part or something there instead. But I figure I'm just gonna leave it out. That way I don't have to mess with it, paint it separately, and then can put that in once it's all done. But anyway, the secondary handle moves back and forth, the camera moves back and forth, and then we also have this little switch here on the side, which I think I might also have to get my hobby knife to get this out. All right, no, that flipped out fine. Then that way you can plug this to the back skirt or to the backpack, maybe? Woo! That was fun. Okay, anyway, there you can see. Annoying. Anyway, then that can just plug into the back skirt here. There. Like that, if you want to hold that on the back skirt. Can't plug into the back of the arm. Interestingly, like with other versions, I think where the shield connector is on the back of the arm, I think you could plug that onto there perhaps. Then we also have okay, you just lay there, please, thank you. And then we have the Hyper Bazooka. So the Hyper Bazooka, again, same thing with the beam rifle and the Hyper Bazooka. They're exactly the same as with the 2.0 Gundam, except that the handle's different. So you have different handles for this to accommodate that little switch, that little peg that flips out in the handle that will plug into the hand for a little bit extra stability. So this handle will move slightly back and forth. And that's pretty much it. Just really nice Hyper Bazooka here. This one also just has the little peg that flips out. You can plug this onto the back skirt if you want. And then of course we have the beam effect parts for the beam sabers, just regular pink, and then our shield. I did also stick a couple of stickers onto here just to kind of demonstrate for you guys how these stickers are going to look against the red. So like I said, against the white plastic, you're not going to be able to really see the outline as much, so it'll be okay. But here on the red, you can see where the white, first of all, is not that bright, so that'll be something that'll be nicer with the water slide to have a more opaque white. Also, you can see the clear outline of the sticker on there, and obviously, I really don't know if spraying like a really good coat of gloss coat on that will really help all that much, but probably not that much. handle on here will move up and down. It's quite loose, I feel like. And then this part will just attach onto the back of the arm, rotates, and then flips like that. And then I suppose what you can do is then plug in the weapons to the inside of the shield here, like that if you want, which is nice, kind of similar to what you could do with the RX-78-2 Origin kits, which I will be comparing this to here momentarily, but then you can just plug that onto the arm like that, just fits onto the arm well and fine, so that works pretty well. Alright, so back to the articulation, sorry. The arm will move up, and you have this panel here on the top of the chest that moves up with that, so that is going to work really well. Even the shoulder armor kind of has these panels on the front and back that will kind of bend a little bit, so when you're moving that around, it bends nice and well. So the arm can move up, all the way up, like that, and then you can put this all the way up, so the arm can point completely vertical like that. No problems with that at all. Just want to work that carefully. Don't want to kind of overstress it or anything. And then forward and back, obviously not going to be a problem either. So shoulder armor, shoulder articulation, fine. Rotation at the top, double joint here in the elbow. Nice, nice elbow joint there. A lot of details. The elbow joint, putting the elbow joint together with this kit is quite interesting. You kind of have to just like float the parts into the right place and then just pop it together. Yeah, but it works well. The wrist has some bend, like this whole front part of the forearm kind of bends a little bit there, and then of course the wrist is just on a ball joint. I have a little bit of bend there in the wrist as well, and the fingers are individually articulated. That is nice if you want to do like some specific pose with the hand, but I still just generally prefer fixed pose hands personally. I also think these are quite large. I know that's technically how it is supposed to be. Like according to the designs, the RX-78-2 does have pretty large hands, but just for my personal taste, I don't really like them that big. Anyway, and then the front skirts are just same like with the Origin Gundam. They kind of flip, move down and up. I think like not as much as the Origin Gundam, I guess. So I think with the Origin they work a little bit better. You can see this armor is kind of coming apart here. Yeah, pulling them down and then flipping them up will give you more range. Yeah, it's definitely not as much of a range as the Origin kit had. The Origin kit, you could pull them like all the way up. But then we do have the side skirts are able to move up a bit as well. Again, that's also better with the Origin kit. Back skirts are going to work pretty much exactly the same. Did also forget to mention these thrusters on the backpack can move a little bit, not really too much, as well as the beam saber handles can move around while they're still like connected, which is actually kind of a little bit annoying because they just kind of get moved out of place unintentionally a lot of times. And then the hips, legs can move forward, and then you can see this front skirt armor is just falling apart. Just be careful with that. Some rotation here at the top, and then when we bend the leg, of course, we're getting some really nice part separation there in the thigh, the knee. These parts of the knee separate there, and that is all looking good. And then in the ankle, we have 3 parts here for the foot, the toe, the middle part, and the back, and then just nice detail up underneath there. And this back part of the foot is also just kind of on a ball joint. This armor is sitting in the back of there on a ball joint, which is kind of interesting. Yeah, and so the ankles can move side to side, forward and back to there, and then the front ankle armor can move up and down like so. So overall, all the articulation you would expect basically from a like very modern master grade. So with this being like the 3.0, yeah, I mean, I don't think that the articulation anyway is really like that much better than any like the Origin Gundam or even like the Freedom 2.0 or even the Hakushiki 2.0 or some of the other nicer master grade kits that have been out recently. So here is the 3.0 compared with the Origin kits. Now, of course, it would probably be worthwhile to compare it to the 2.0, I suppose, but I don't have one of those, so I'm just going to be comparing this with the Origin version. And also just because the Origin version also came out relatively shortly after the 3.0, so I feel like they're probably the best comparison to make. So ultimately, I mean, between the two, I think if you really want like a lot of part separation, if you really want to do that like kind of RG style, or if you want to have like the more classic look of the RX-78-2, or if you want to have an RX-72 that really looks like the what the 1:1 scale RX-78-2 looked like at Gundam Front Tokyo up until just recently. Then get a 3.0. That's kind of the best points of that. With the Origins kit though, I think it has like just as much, if not better, articulation and everything there in terms of like posing it and things like that. It also just has a lot more options. You can do like the standard backpack with 2 beam saber handles, or you can do the backpack here with the mounted cannon on the backpack. It has 2 different rifles. It has the bazooka, which is just slightly different design. They're not really too different in terms of the bazooka. The shield, which I have currently in its upward position. It is supposed to be upside down, I know, but just for the sake of this, I had it like that. And the shield connection, I think, is like pretty much the same, I think, if not a little bit better. The connection for the 3.0 works really well in that it doesn't actually plug into a peg, it just snaps onto the arm, which kind of is nice, so you don't have to worry about breaking a peg or anything like that. But when you're trying to move the arm around with the shield connected onto the arm, the shield pops off the arm very easily, so you just kind of have to be a little bit careful with that. Overall, I think both of them are really, really great kits. I think you can't really go wrong with either of them. Just personally, between the 2 of them, I prefer the look of the Origin kits. Again, just the different weapon options is nice. I like the shoulder-mounted cannon, and I just kind of like the design overall. It's just a little bit more unique take on the RX-78-2, whereas just the 3.0 is just a very kind of classic, just a really, really nice representation of the classic RX-78-2 design. One thing that I think could be a little bit of a negative point, I suppose, this kit does have a lot of detail on the surface, right? But a lot of that detail on the outside armor is really shallow and really light, so you have like a lot of these like really tiny little details and like really faint little panel lines on there that, like, if you were just gonna panel line this as is, some of those panel lines are already really shallow. But especially once you're going to be painting that, obviously with an airbrush, your layers of paint are really thin. But especially if you're going to be painting this like with spray can paint, you're going to fill in those lines very quickly to the point where they're going to be really hard to then panel line later. So I would say even like some of these panel lines, it would probably be a good idea to get some kind of scribing tool. For some of those, you're probably going to want to go in and like scribe some of those a little bit deeper as you're finding, especially if you're going to be sanding some of these parts. Like sanding is going to make them even shallower, so it can just be a little bit troublesome. I guess is what I wanted to say. Just if you're going to be sanding these parts, especially, you just want to be careful not to totally sand away a lot of these like really tiny little details in this kit. So other than that, I think, like I said, one of the really great parts about it is that color separation, or that part separation. Yeah, it was good for color separation. So this is kind of going to be a really fun kit to paint just because of what you can do with all of that. Alright, now I'm sure someone has already taken to the comment section to point out the fact that I haven't pointed this out yet, but here I will take the chance to point out that you can, of course, also attach the shield onto the backpack. There's a small little panel on the center of the backpack you can flip out. Again, I had to use my hobby knife to flip that panel out. And you can flip that out, and then that reveals just a plug where you can plug in the shield there onto the backpack, like so. And of course, just doing some regular flying and sliding and slipping and doing your thing with the beam saber and is no problem to do. Yeah, that's what I mean to say. Anyway, for as good as this articulation is, I mean, maybe it's just me, maybe just like my posing game is a little bit off today, but I'm just feeling like this kid is just, when it's posed, it doesn't quite look as good as the Origin kits. And yeah, again, maybe that's just not really on it today, but I don't know. Yeah. Alright, so all in all, is this a really nice kit? Yes, absolutely. Like I said, if you get it, you won't be disappointed with this. Really, I don't think. Does this kit really make me super excited? Not that much. I mean, yeah, it's nice, but again, it just kind of depends on how much you really love the RX-78-2, I suppose. Does this kit make me really super excited about the prospect of possibly getting a 3.0 Master Grade Zaku? Also, not really that much. If they were to make a Zaku kit just like this, I mean, I think I'd probably have basically the same opinion of it. It's nice, but I don't know if it would really be like the ultimate end-all be-all best version of the Zaku ever. I think, you know, it would just be a nice kit. Honestly, the 2.0 Zaku is just one of the best Master Grades already. So it would be really hard for them to improve on that. But anyway, overall, really nice kit. Once it's all painted up and done up with some proper waterside decals and paneling and all that, it's going to be really, really nice looking, I'm sure. So I am looking forward to painting this. I am going to be painting this again for a commission. I'm going to be painting it up in prototype Gundam colors, actually. So looking forward to that. I'm doing a lot of grayscale designs lately with my Eishi Kshatriya. I'm just about wrapping up now. With the Psycho Zaku, was mostly grays as well, and this is going to be a lot of gray and black, so yeah, that's unfortunate, but that's just kind of how it goes. I don't mind it, I like grayscale stuff, but I will be painting this after finishing my Mega Size Zaku, so probably next month or somewhere around there, as soon as I can anyway. I'll do some work in progress or something when I get to start painting this. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you still had any other questions or comments, you can leave those down below. Hopefully tried to cover as much as I can. There's a lot of cool stuff you can do with this kit. I should also point out that the little like tag that flips out in the handle to help connect the weapons into the hands, I didn't use that at all for any of the weapons, and it holds it pretty much fine. If you wanted to be extra sure about it, you could use that, but just for what I've been doing here, it's been fine without actually using that, which is nice because I just didn't want to take the risk of breaking that part. It's a very fragile little tiny piece in the hand. So anyway, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.